It is my time. I am worth it. I can do this. I am focused.
Hey ladies, it's your girl Makisha with Sistahbiz Global Network, and I am excited because we're in video 2 of 3 videos for creating engaging and fun webinars. And so first video, we really talked about like strategy around planning your webinar so that it's engaging and interactive, and creating an engaging and welcoming environment. This video, we're going to talk a little bit about actual activities and techniques you can use during the webinar to keep people engaged. And so I have about 4 tips for you, and we're going to get right to it. All right, so tip 1 is really leverage the opportunity to use breakout groups and partnerships in your webinar. And so if you have Zoom, that's what we use. We definitely leverage that feature in Zoom where you can create breakout groups within the webinar. And so all it looks like is I've got 15 people in the webinar. I want to break them into 3 working groups. I can literally do that. And then each working group of 5 is kind of having their own individual discussion around work that we've given them, a prompted question, a worksheet, some sort of activity. And so that's one way. Let's say I have 6 people and I want people to team up in partnerships. And so I have 3 groups of 2. And so folks are working one-on-one with each other. And so the idea behind creating smaller groups is that you give each individual participant an opportunity to speak and share and have more voice in the webinar and more engagement in the webinar than they would if you were just speaking at 15 people. And so definitely take a look and see if your webinar platform offers that feature to do breakouts. If not, Zoom definitely does. Tip number 2. Giving people choice. And so a lot of times your participants may come in the door and they have different needs, or they're in a different place in the business, or they have a different interest in terms of subtopics associated with your larger topic. And so giving them choice on, what, subtopic they can work on during groups or during, group breakouts is a great idea. So maybe group 1 is meeting on one topic while group 2 is meeting on another topic, and people can kind of self-select where they want to be. Or maybe you have a set of worksheets and you give them some choice in which worksheet they get to work on based on a series or a number of activities that you mentioned during your lecture. And so giving people choice is a great way to allow people to really decide what they want to do, and then they're more committed because they've gotten a chance to select where they want to go and what they want to work on. Tip number 3 is about giving people planning or work time. And so not just creating this sit and get experience, but definitely giving them time to work on what it is that you shared with them, taught them, put in front of them to digest, and giving them time to plan out what that looks like in terms of application in their context setting environment business. And so it's a good idea, particularly in this day and age when people are super busy, because then they'll often take the information that you're teaching or sharing and not use it and not start to use it. And so having them at least get a chance to start planning and working on things during the webinar is a great thing to do. And it doesn't have to be a long planning or work time. It could be a 10 or 15 minute break for them to work on a worksheet you've given them, or respond to an assignment associated with what you taught. And so when you give them the assignment, one tip I do have is to let them know in advance before they get started how much time they have, and then even put like a timer on the slide so that while they're working, they can see the countdown so they can know how much time they have before they need to fully come back to the whole group presentation and experience. And then my final tip for you is to allow people to share their artifacts. So let's say they do step to the side and work on a worksheet. Having them come back and hop back into groups and share screen with their group and kind of walk their group through what they did and ask for feedback is a great way to hold people accountable to doing the work in the workshop, and also a great way for them to get feedback on, if they're going in the right direction or not, and what improvements they can make to their work product. So these are 4 tips that you can use to really create more engaging and interactive workshops via webinar, and I hope they are helpful. If they are helpful and if you like what you see, definitely subscribe below to Sistahbiz Global Network's YouTube channel. Or you can follow us on Facebook or IG. We are at Sistahbiz. And if you want to, engage in our workshops or trainings, check us out at www.sistah.biz. All right, ladies, take care.